Hello, nice to see everyone and welcome to another PIVX class. Today we have a class on PIVX itself. We are going to talk about coin supply and a common misconception that the coin supply of PIVX is unlimited. So get your notepads out and let's get started. Okay, so a quick bit of preliminary information. First, coin supply is the total number of coins that can ever be created. Many cryptocurrencies have a supply of coins that is limited. We'll use Bitcoin as an example, but this is fairly standard in cryptocurrency at this time. In Bitcoin, the miners process the blocks of transactions to get the reward of newly generated Bitcoin for doing so. They also get the fees spent by users during that time period. After a certain point, though, there will be no more new Bitcoin, and they will only get the fees from those transactions. This is because the code behind Bitcoin was created to have a limit on how many could be created. But why do this? Well, because a coin that creates more of itself forever is not much different from the fiat currencies it hopes to replace. Essentially, limiting supply is a good thing as long as there are enough transaction fees to keep the Bitcoin miners doing their mining. Right. Well, there we go. Limited supplies are good because it means that your coins don't deflate in value. But then why does PIVX not have a limit on its coin supply? That does seem to be a bad thing. And it would be if it weren't for the fact that PIVX is playing with a different set of rules. In Bitcoin, transaction fees go to the miners. This means that Bitcoins swirl around forever. They go from one wallet to the next and then to another again. In PIVX, the fees are destroyed. Wait, destroying coins? Why would you do that? Well, there are 3 reasons. 1, if transactions are free, then malicious people who don't want PIVX to succeed could spam millions of transactions on the network to slow it down for normal users. That'd be pretty bad. 2, if no one profits from fees, there is no incentive to make them any higher than they need to be. And 3, it is the counterbalance to having a persistent rate of coin creation. There it is. Did you notice how I said persistent? Not unlimited. It isn't wrong to say unlimited. In truth, there is no limit, but it does end up kind of misleading people. Hence this video. As I see it, there are 2 reasons to not limit the currency in this system. 1, the budget for PIVX development is created within that block reward. And then the second thing is that it guarantees that the stakers will keep supporting the network no matter what. Now, the funny thing is that PIVX is likely to actually increase in rarity over time. Their system has a kind of break-even point. If a certain amount of coins are generated each minute, and a certain amount are destroyed with each transaction, eventually you'll reach a point where the 2 kind of break even. So there will be as many destroyed as created. This is why PIVX doesn't really like the term unlimited. It can be kind of misleading. In fact, the PIVX supply will likely shrink the more adoption it sees, when many people are using PIVX for just everyday transactions. The fees will outweigh the new coins being created. At this point, the PIVX community will have to vote on how they want to proceed from there. They can allow the supply to drop and thereby increase the value of each coin, or they can raise the coin emissions to kind of match the fees. They have the power to change the emissions by a vote of the community. And for those that don't know, emissions is another term for block reward. So when a staker is staking, they can earn PIVX emissions. To summarize this lesson, you could say that PIVX does not have an unlimited coin supply because it destroys the transaction fees, while most cryptocurrency pay those fees to the people processing the transactions. Whether you do things the Bitcoin way or the PIVX way, they both improve upon the traditional fiat money system in different ways. Okay, that's it. You now know why PIVX doesn't have a supply limit. This can be a tricky topic to explain, so I hope I explained it in the easiest way possible. If you are having trouble with my explanation, feel free to ask your questions in the comments below. I will answer you to the best of my ability. Thank you for tuning in to today's class. I look forward to our next one, So have a good day, and I will see you next time.